Hey everyone, I want to give you some sound advice when it comes to the estrangement, estranged children, etc. And a lot of times things are brought into play about what a crappy parent you were, etc. And how you failed them and this and that. And we feel we need to tell them about our childhood and justify what happened and why we fell short as parents and how we tried to do better and because XYZ, because my childhood consisted of. It could be any amount of things that happened to you in your childhood and any amount of choices you made as a teenager, young child, etc., that you try to get your estranged children to understand. Number one, you were not perfect. Number two, maybe you were damaged. You hadn't healed. Maybe you were in drugs, alcohol, prostitution. Maybe you were a stripper. Maybe you had an addiction to something and you made some really poor choices. And in my mind, I believe that if I told my children all of my shortcomings, it would help them to understand that I was the best parent I could be despite all of my circumstances and despite my traumas and despite what happened to me in the military and what happened to me growing up and whatever the case. But I'm letting you know right now, the only time you disclose your secrets and all of your shortcomings is to, number one, an adult you can trust, and that includes your children. The reason I'm saying this is because when you have a child or a young adult or a teen living in your home who wants to blame you for their entire world as to why their world is not suffice or isn't good enough or whatever, I want to say that what you have to understand is, sorry, I think there's noise in the background. Well, what you have to understand is every single thing you tell your child will come back to haunt you tenfold. One thing that I disclosed, not just to my children, but to other people who eventually used it against me, put it in the gun and aimed it at me and attempted to cause harm, is, as when I was younger and then after I got divorced, I could have been considered promiscuous or having had slept around or whatever. And that was that's part of my story. It's part of who I am. It's not like I go around telling the world or holding a sign up or anything like that. I live a very quiet life and I'm married and a wonderful husband, and so I'm sure I shared certain information with my daughters and certain family members, and it came back to bite me. And I just want to say, what you have to understand is each one of us has a past. Each one of us has made decisions that are not favorable or would be looked down upon. Like going to a church and maybe you get struck down by lightning, but the only person you should be sharing that type of information with are adults who understand and who do not judge you, who share their stories as well. I've shared my stories with other people who have walked the same walk as me and who understand why I made the choices I did. And most important, don't hold it against me or don't use it against me to make me feel like I am unworthy, like I don't deserve a relationship with anyone, much less my children, that because of my choices I was a really shitty mother. That's the type of information always used against you. So because our children lack the experience and lack the similar circumstances that we have been through, they are not old enough, emotionally or mentally mature enough, nor have they been faced with those traumas. They don't understand. They will never sympathize with you or feel sorry for you or gain a greater understanding. And most important, it's not even a sense of forgiveness, because if you have made certain choices outside of your children, or certain things have happened, it's not even that they need to forgive you. And it's not like one day they're going to wake up and say, "Oh, now I understand why mom was the way she was, and I forgive her, and she was the best mom she could have been despite what happened." It's not going to change their mindset. It is just going to be ammo that they use against you, so they can continue to berate you, control you, make you feel less than, make you feel somewhat guilty or ashamed, or that you were not a good enough parent. So, my advice to parents out there who currently have children at home or who are estranged: do not share your shortcomings with your children. You can say, "Well, I've had that same experience." Share with them what they experience with you in the home. If you lose your parent, share your grief with them. If you stub your toe, share that frustration. Only share what you experience together, because there will be a common bond of pain and understanding, because they've been there, they've done that. Other than that, don't share what you did in your teen years, what you did when you were little, if you accidentally, if you had, whatever the case may be. Only share the experience you experienced together. Other than that, it's not necessary, because I'm telling you right now, if push comes to shove, when someone's in a really bad place and they want to bring you down, they will bring up every single situation you've talked about. "Oh, you're a shitty mother because look at you. Look at what you did." And so that's all I'm saying, is be very, very careful with what you share. Find a trusted friend. Share your stories with that person, but make sure you can trust the people you're sharing with. If not, write it in a diary and lock it up. So that's what I wanted to talk about. Much love to all. I hope everyone's having a great day, and we'll talk with you soon. Bye-bye.